Hey guys, I'm here to get into a character analysis of Magnolia, which was directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, released in the year 1999. This is just a timeless depiction of characters as they're all loosely connected by way of something of an unresolved past, which just haunts the characters throughout the depiction that Pete Anderson presents all of this. And plenty of this just involves trauma and regret as characters and stories are just loosely connected to this, in a sense, as characters are wrestling with who they are publicly versus their true, genuine selves. And there's one of us worked with many different characters, just Tom Cruise. He's just kind of reveals himself as just more and more of age. It's very misogynistic dating dude who teaches men to dominate women ultimately. His persona masks his own bitterness and pain from abandonment by his own father. And then he just finds that he can only obtain control by way of having a cynical view on what women really. So his facade breaks down when he finds out his father's dying, played by Jason Robards. It's just wonderful time. There's just so many shots of Cruise. He's got a magnetic sort of energy. It's just insane that it's happened the same year as Eyes Wide Shut. Like, what a Tom Cruise. And Phil Baker Hall is just this dying TV game show host who also just cheats and lives, unable to reconnect with his daughter, played by Melora Walters, who was just previously molested. It's just, there's a lot of devastation and depression around this. And Phil Seymour Hoffman is a very compassionate nurse who often acts as a messenger between Cruise and Robards. He's a very charismatic and ultimately charming sort of character. Julia Moore is a young wife of Robards, and she's generally just incredibly neurotic with an overwhelming amount of anxiety and guilt to quite an energetic extent. She always seems to be just in this intense and wrestling sort of mood all throughout. Lily Macy is just this show. She just feels lonely, and he struggles greatly with a lot of self-hatred as their Alfred Millennia fires him. John C. Reilly is just this little attention of very naive, lonely character. He struggles with feelings of inferiority. He serves as an guardian angel ultimately for many characters, offering judgment, forgiveness, which ends up leading to Melora Walters, who's this victim of sexual abuse by Hull. And she lives in depths of drug addiction. Promiscuity has a means of coping with it. She's just deeply scarred with all this, although she finds a glimpse of redemption as John C. Reilly's this kindly cop who shows her compassion and love throughout this story, the original kind of way. Jeremy Blackman's this child genius who's on the same show that Macy was on. The story just wonderfully explores the exploitation of the media. And Jason Robards is this dying TV producer who abandons his family. The final act of reconnecting with the deathbed is the result of time. So a lot of who's in it actually just looks more often. It's also just one of the favorite original shots is getting a sermon of probably the 2001 Space Odyssey reference. And the overall feeling of this is just this influence of previous actions and reckoning with groups of one's regret. But these moments just explore coincidence and grace. This characters are ultimately connected by way of its finale, in which the range frogs and the cleansing moment of a character's realizing ultimate truth and redemption.